Welcome to Real Estate Investing Abundance, the show for busy, fulfilled professionals like you to learn how to develop financial independence built on solid, passive real estate investments. Now, here is your host, Dr. Alan Lomax.
Hello, enlightened investors. Happy to be back with you again today. I'm your host, Dr. Alan. I know you'll enjoy today's show, and I have a big ask that will only take a moment of your time. Ratings and reviews are the lifeblood of our podcast. To leave a review and a rating, iPhone or other Apple iOS device users, go to Apple Podcasts or iTunes. For all you non-Apple device users, go to podchasers.com. On either site, search for Real Estate Investing Abundance. Once you find us, leave both a review and a rating. Subscriptions are also vital to the show's success, so please be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app. It's free to subscribe, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Enlightened investors, a few days ago, one of my guests made this statement. If you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I assure all you enlightened investors today that I'm in the right room today. I cannot wait for our guest to shine a light on the areas of investing where I am still in the dark. He is a developer of a real estate investment technology platform that allows investors to build custom real estate portfolios. He has extensive investment experience spanning a large variety of asset classes, including real estate, stocks, bonds, cryptocurrencies, commodities, options, and angel investing. He has co-founded 2 startups and has extensive management experience leading large teams at a Fortune 500 company. He has an MBA in marketing and finance and a master's in computer science. Welcome, Badri Malynur. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of real estate portfolio development, Badri, share with us an experience from your formative years that have helped you to be the person you are today.
Hey, great to be here, Alan. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to talking to you about real estate and life in general. I grew up in India. I came here in my early 20s, and a real formative experience, which I remember, was I was part of a religious spiritual organization, and I was given an opportunity to talk in front of 10,000 people when I was less than 10, maybe 9, 8. And that is still completely etched in my mind. It made me lose my stage fright. And later on, I went to participate in a variety of debates and then business plan competitions. But that really, I think, pushed me over the edge of having stage fright. I still have a vivid memory about that.
I can see how, if that was a good experience, that could be reinforcing. Tell us about the spiritual community.
It's interesting. It's interesting how your life goes through ebbs and cycles, right? It's a mission it's something called Chinmaya Mission. And it's about life. It's not about a specific religion, actually. And I was pretty actively involved until my late teens. And then I took, shall we call it a sabbatical for almost 25 years. And then we are still actively involved again in the United States. It's a worldwide mission which talks about how to apply Vedanta, which is the Indian philosophy, and Bhagavad Gita to your day-to-day life. It's less about religion and more about spirituality, if you get the difference, right?
Yeah. So let's get into investing. But why is real estate an attractive alternative investment and a good addition to a stock portfolio?
Good question. And I guess maybe I'll ask you to share your opinion as well. You're a real estate expert, but let me start with mine, since I guess I'm talking. Basically, what you want, thank you again for the introduction. I invest in a wide range of assets. And what I look for is a portfolio approach to building all your assets. You should take a portfolio approach for stocks, portfolio approach for bonds. I do angel investing, cryptocurrencies, and you should take a portfolio approach for real estate too. But you should also take a portfolio approach for your entire range of assets. And what do I mean by that? You want assets which zig when other assets zag, because you don't want everything to go down or up at the same time. And real estate is a real nice provides a real nice buffering influence for your overall portfolio. Good cash flow, you get depreciation benefits. And I don't want to get into politics. We all heard about our former president who paid no taxes. Presumably mostly because of his real estate holdings. So in general, I highly recommend having a slice of your investments in real estate as an alternative investment.
Yes, certainly. The fact that it's a non-correlated asset is powerful. I have never invested in the stock market. It's constant fluctuation is too much for me, so I stick with real estate.
Hey, whatever makes you sleep well at night, than the actual money you make. You sleep well at night, it doesn't matter how much you make.
Exactly, yes. I admire you people who can deal with that and diversify across different classes. How can you build a diversified portfolio spanning multiple states and multiple asset classes, and at the same time do that with limited funds?
There you go. Yeah, what I'm saying doesn't apply to the Bill Gates of the world. If you have $10 billion to throw around, I'm sure you have lots of choices. But for the average Joe among us, the nice thing is a lot of things have changed. There are many crowdfunding platforms. You should really approach real estate portfolio like a jigsaw puzzle. What do I mean by that? When you do a jigsaw puzzle, you don't randomly throw a bunch of pieces together. Let me throw this and see where it goes. You're thinking about where the next piece goes, and you're thinking about the final pieces put together. So I want your listeners to approach real estate portfolios also like you're putting together a jigsaw puzzle. By all means, don't be paralyzed. Go ahead and do your first investment. There are a wide range of places you can invest with limited assets, right? So obviously you can buy a house. This would be a single family or a twoplex or a fourplex, and then you have some disadvantages with that. You could do private real estate investment trusts or funds. Real estate investment trusts trade like the stock market, so you should be aware of that. Or you could do what are called syndication deals, now where you get a slice of the commercial property, and many of your viewers may already be familiar with that. And finally, you could do hard money loans, right? These, I'm not talking about the 30-year mortgages. This is for people who buy a house, fix and flip it. You may get 8 to 12% returns. And there are various issues you should look at before you decide what type of portfolio you want to build.
Talk to us about the platform that you developed in conjunction with helping investors with limited funds to invest in real estate and to diversify as broadly as they can with whatever size of funds they have to work with.
Yeah, happy to. So here's the problem. I gave a nice talk about building real estate portfolios, but it's not that easy to do. I never said it was very easy. Frankly, it's a lot easier to build a stock portfolio than a real estate portfolio. So
Absolutely.
That's the problem we are trying to solve. We are trying to solve this problem for busy, active professionals who really don't have the time to evaluate a lot of real estate deals. They have a full-time job and maybe 2 full-time jobs and taking care of kids. The life is tough these days. What we have done is we customizable real estate investment platform. The key word is customizable. You're going to get tired of me using that word, but I'll go ahead and repeat it. Customizable. So think of this platform as a buffet. You go to a buffet, you get to pick and choose, hey, I want a little more of this, a little more of that. It's a fund which is not like a pie. Most funds today are like pies. The ingredients are already baked in, and you pay a certain amount of money, and based on that, you get a certain slice of the pie. Whereas this is more like a buffet where you can completely choose what you want to invest and how much you want to invest. For example, you may be from California and you say, hey, I have enough exposure to California. I don't want to put any more money in California. Or you might say, I like student housing. So what we do is we have built a platform where we evaluate hundreds of syndication deals. We have relationships with dozens of syndicators, and we also have accounts in all the major crowdfunding platforms. And then this is the key thing. We pre-invest our own money into these deals and then cut them into small slices. So you can invest as little as $2,500 per syndication deal, which typically you cannot do outside. And for $40,000, you can build a diversified portfolio of more than 20 different syndication deals. And by the way, we also do hard money loans also. So we give you slices of hard money loans. So you can choose a combination of passive income and capital appreciation, or one or the other.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. As an industry-leading, relationship-focused, design-build construction firm, Mosaic Construction has worked in many different asset classes from multifamily to retail, medical, industrial, and commercial. Mosaic Construction works to execute interior and exterior renovations with their team of trades and project managers. Their experience with value-add improvements has resulted in increased ROI and long-term value of the assets. They work nationally in partnership with local trades to deliver thoughtful, problem-solving construction management solutions to all their clients. For a personal, no-obligation consultation, call Ira Singer, 773-491-3145, or email Ira at mosaicconstruction.com.
Badris.net. You can also find Ira on LinkedIn. I'm curious, what is the difference, or maybe there isn't a difference? Do you consider yourself a crowdfunding platform?
We don't consider ourselves a crowdfunding platform. Let me tell you why. A crowdfunding platform typically works this way. Let's say you're a real estate investor, which you are, and you want to raise money from the crowd. What does crowdfunding mean? It's exactly, at the risk of being called having an uncanny grasp of the obvious, it's funding from crowds, right? So you're trying to raise money to buy a particular property, and you want it from a several large group of individuals. And that's not what we are doing. We are more of an investment platform where we have already raised the money. We have our own personal inventory capital, and we have already invested in these deals. And then based on your needs, we are building a custom portfolio tailored towards your needs, your risk tolerance, your liquidity needs, and your cash flow needs. So we are not raising money as such because we have already invested in the deal, but we are more an investment platform. Think of us like the Robin Hood or Fidelity of real estate. Okay. So we have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in the legal and technology infrastructure. So you can log in, you get a very nice dashboard, and it will tell you how each one of your slices has done. Let's say you put $2,500 in this, $5,000 in this, and you can click on it, get detailed information, and also complete financial information on how that is done so far. So that's the difference. We are more of an investment platform versus a crowdfunding platform.
I'm a little confused. Let's just take a syndication. You have already funded this syndication.
Correct.
But I could come along and I could put $2,500 and I could say I want to invest in this syndication that you have already invested in.
Correct.
How can that work? I'm not comprehending how that aspect can work through there.
So that's the technology and the legal infrastructure we have built. But let me walk through the scenario. So we have relationships with lots of syndicators. We have relationships with a lot of crowdfunding platforms. We have a mathematical model which evaluates these deals from multiple dozens of variables. And even though we evaluate hundreds of deals, we pre-select and pre-invest in a small subset of them. Let's say we like a deal, it passes our mathematical model, and then we invest $50,000 in the deal. Keep it simple. Let's say we invest $100,000 in the deal. We cut that into 40 $2,500 chunks. And when you come along, you can say, are you interested in storage? Are you interested in multifamily? So you can log into the platform, and it's like shopping, right? You go to Safeway, or you're looking at walking in a grocery store. These are all the available deals, which are all pre-screened and pre-invested. It's not, they already meet our stamp of approval. And then you can say, yeah, let me add this to my cart. Not physically, you actually talk to us, but conceptually, you're adding it to your cart. And you can say, I want to invest $5,000 in this deal. I want to invest $2,500 in this deal. And then we keep allocating those slices. And once they're gone, if you have 40 slices of $2,500, once all the 40 slices are taken, then you can't go back, right? The deal is already closed. Now you have to look at some other deals. Did that make sense?
Yeah, that is starting to clear that up for me. You go into this syndication and you put a chunk down, but it's divided into segments. And when I come along, and if there's still a segment available for $2,500, I can purchase at $2,500. They're all sold out. I've got to go find another syndication.
Exactly. Yep. No.
Yeah. So that's all planned out from the beginning of that investment. And from the start, that's going to be segmented. So it's not like when I come in and put my $2,500 down, I'm not taking away somebody else's interest.
Correct.
It had already been calculated into
Correct.
that mathematically. Correct. Okay, that makes sense. That's a fascinating concept, and I know of no one else who is doing that.
I don't think so. Yeah, do let us know. We're always evaluating competition, because the funds which are out there, it's already pre-invested, and you get a slice of everything. You don't get to pick and choose what.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Would you ever invest all your money in a single stock? Very unlikely. Yet, investors are willing to risk $50,000 to $100,000 in a single property in real estate all the time. Avestor is the world's first customizable real estate investment platform. Investors can build their own custom portfolios, selecting investments across multiple asset classes such as single-family homes, multifamily, student housing, self-storage, and shopping centers. You can also invest across multiple markets and different time frames. Avestor also enables other real estate entrepreneurs and syndicators to build and use Avestor's infrastructure and cloud platform to create their own customizable real estate funds. To learn more, visit us at AvestorInc.com. Avestor, real estate investing made simple.
When investors are considering to do this, what is it that they should look at your platform rather than going directly into syndication? Say a person has $25,000 to invest. Why would they come to you rather than just going straight to a syndicator?
Okay. So there are multiple reasons I can give. First of all, by the way, our minimum is 40,000, just to be clear. It's not 25. But for that 40,000, you are invested in 10, 15, 20 deals, right? As opposed to one deal. Typically 25 is the minimum. Many syndication deals even have 50,000. So that's one of the first key differences. The problem we are trying to solve for an investor is he has to go evaluate these deals, and you might be very good at what you do, but are you really sure if you're investing in one deal, do you really know which deal to pick? So this goes back to portfolio diversification, right? So if to build a diversified portfolio, you really need at least $500,000, right? You want to build 15 syndication deals. You can say, I know what I'm doing. I'll put everything in one deal, but it usually doesn't. It may work out sometimes, but you're taking a risk, right? So that's the point number one. The biggest point is we help you build a diversified portfolio. And we have years of experience evaluating deals, and we evaluate hundreds of deals and select a small subset of them and see you can choose what is more important for you. You can say, I want cash flow. As if it's value add apartments, you get more cash flow. If it's new construction, you get more capital gains. You have to wait for year 3 and 4 and 5. So we actually build a liquidity graph. We talk to you. It's more like an investment advisor, the relationship. Though we are not formally registered as investment advisors, we are an ERA, where you can come and tell us, I'm somewhat risk averse. I want more cash flow. We actually build a liquidity graph based on your needs. You can say, I have a kid going to college in 3 years. So I want 75% of my money back in 3 years. So you give a much more holistic portfolio rather than investing in one deal at a time. So that's the difference.
What about the tax benefits investing in your program? If you invest directly in a syndication, you generally are going to get all of the tax benefits that you would if you were investing individually. What about investing in your portfolio? As
you asked me that question, I should have covered that earlier, but thank you for bringing that up. So typically when you invest in many of the funds, it depends. You don't get many of the benefits of real estate, depreciation and everything else. But the way we have structured it, you're actually a partner in a limited partnership, and every penny of depreciation flows through to you on a pro rata fashion, of course. If you invest 10,000 out of 100,000, you get 10%. And all of this, let me tell you the most important part here. All of this is packaged so that even if you invest in 20 different deals, you get something called a K1, which is a partnership for each deal. Typically, if you invest in 10 syndication deals, you get 10 different K1s. That's a partnership which you have to use for your tax filing. Many of your viewers may already be familiar with the K1. But the way we have built our platform, even if you invest in 20 deals, you get a single K1. And you do get all the depreciation benefits. And depending on your tax situation, because it's a single K1, there may be some additional tax advantages. Apart from the complexity of reduction, who wants to deal with 20 K1s if they would rather deal with one K1? And so that's some of the tax benefits of the platform. So one other question I'm going to answer, even though you didn't ask. So you may ask, if you are saying that all the depreciation and all the capital appreciation goes through to the investors, how do we make money? This is not a nonprofit. The way we make money, we are very transparent about it. We charge a platform fee, which is annually charged. Most people tell us what we charge is very reasonable. We charge 1.25% for portfolios below $100,000 and 1% for portfolios above $100,000. That's the annual fee. It comes based on the assets under management. If you invested 75,000, we calculate it on a daily basis and down to a penny, and we charge that quarterly. So that's how we make money. And let me tell you why that is important. Because unlike many crowdfunding platforms, we do not take money from the syndicators. Because think about it. It's human nature, right? If I'm taking money from somebody, and if somebody is paying more money than the others, I may favor that person. It would be dishonest of me to say, no, I'm completely neutral. Whereas the way we don't take a penny from the syndicators or the sponsors. Our interests are completely aligned with you as a passive investor, and because we don't take any money from the syndicator. I hope that makes sense.
Enlightened investors, we'll be right back after this important announcement. I have a big ask that will only take a moment of your time. Ratings and reviews are the lifeblood of our podcast. So to leave a review, iPhone or other Apple iOS device users, go to Apple Podcasts or iTunes. For all you non-Apple device users, go to podchasers.com. On either platform, search for Real Estate Investing Abundance. Once found, please leave a review and a rating. Subscriptions are also vital to our show's success, so please be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app. It is free to subscribe, and you can unsubscribe at any time.
You don't take any money from the syndicators. Does that mean you don't invest in the syndication outside of this lump sum that you put into it? And you are actually allocating 100% of that fund out to other investors?
Many of the partners own a lot of the slices. So there are 3 partners in the company. We own many of the slices, depending on our own personal needs. If I already am exposed to California, I may not want California exposure. So we have our own personal investments too in the fund too. Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting the idea as to how this platform works, and it sounds really exciting. So is this platform strictly for real estate, or within this platform, you could even diversify outside of real estate into cryptocurrencies or into stocks?
We talked about it, but as of now and for the foreseeable future, it's all about focus, right, Alan? You've been in the business for a while. You can get diluted very fast. Paintings and what's the latest buzzword? Non-fungible tokens, right? NFTs. We could do lots of things. We don't. This is all about real estate. But within real estate, we invest in all the asset classes, sub-asset classes. We are just getting into senior living, but so far we have done multifamily, retail, student housing, self-storage, new construction, value add, multiple states, and we also do hard money lending. But to answer your question, we have decided to focus only on real estate.
Okay. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to talk to us about?
Yeah, there's one other thing which I should mention, just in case there are sponsors and syndicators who want to work with Avestor in your audience, right? There are passive investors and there are real estate investors, right? So we really always launch this platform while Avestor will always have their own funds. We really wanted to launch this platform as a software as a service, SaaS model, if you will. So this platform is available to you as a real estate investor or a sophisticated investor to create what we call a mini fund. We have trademarked that term. It's a fund you open once, you get all the customizable benefits we talked about. And if you're a sponsor or syndicator, we are happy to invest in your deal. But if you want to create your own fund for your own investors, please reach out to me. I'm sure we'll talk about contact information and things like that towards the end. And this could also be open to realtors. So we are talking to realtors. For example, today, I don't know, pick a hot market. What do you think is a hot market? Austin, really hot market, right? I wouldn't mind investing 5 or 6 slices of single family houses. There is no place where you can buy slices of single family houses in Austin. So the idea is we are creating this platform to enable the next generation of real estate entrepreneurs to create these mini funds on types of real estate deals which we have never done in the past. Let me give you another example, a rent to buy option, where there people are guaranteed to buy the house after 2 or 3 years, and you a fund for rent to buy option. So we are creating this new innovative type of real estate funds on this platform. So if you are a realtor, a sophisticated investor, or a sponsor or a syndicator, and you want to create your own fund with minimal fuss, because we handle all the operations for you, we handle all the legal infrastructure for you, talk to me, and I'm happy to tell you more about it.
In terms of working with syndicators, give us a little bit more detail on how a syndicator would go about establishing a fund with you.
Okay. There are 2 ways a syndicator can work with us. One is very simple. You have a deal, we'll evaluate the deal, and if we can invest ourselves. That's simple. I mean, it passes our criteria, our mathematical model. We invest. As far as you're concerned, we are one passive investor. Don't worry about all our other investors. We handle all that. But to answer your question, if you want to create a fund, we have a conversation, understand what you're trying to do. Are you doing slices of single family houses? Are you trying to do multifamily? And then we can get the fund going within 3 to 4 weeks. And we put you in touch with our attorney. We are not attorneys. I want to be 100% clear, but we have spent tens of thousands of dollars in building the legal infrastructure and the legal documents. So you might as well start from what we have done and modify those documents for your own personal needs, for your fund needs. So you get together with an attorney, and that attorney will become your attorney, because at the end of the day, you need to have a client-attorney relationship. And so whatever you pay to the attorney is directly paid to the attorney. And then we get you set up on our fund, on our platform, and then you start putting your deals. Every deal which you have, you just put it on the platform and slice it and allocate it to investors.
So with one syndication, you could go in, and what does your attorney take care of? Does he take care of establishing the LLC within the syndication?
Everything. The LLC, the blue sky offering, registering it. There are some SEC filings you have to do. All the legal infrastructure is taken care of. And generating the PPMs, the LP, everything is done.
Okay, so he would set up the operating agreement. He would set up the disclosures and everything?
Exactly.
From the bottom up. And then
I just want to mention, on our side, we handle all your operations first. What do I mean by that? If you have to do an accreditation check for your investors, we take care of that for you. And we are not accountants, we are not attorneys, but we generate all the accounting information, and you can hand it to your accountant, or we have our network of accountant providers we can provide with you, who can work with you. They'll generate the single K1. And so that's the advantage of working with us. Your investors get a single K1, your investors get a customizable fund where, again, I'll beat this to death. You'll get tired. Maybe I'm getting hungry, or there's the buffet, right? You go there and pick and choose what you want, and you're good to go.
Sounds like an extremely well-developed platform and program. What are the fees for a syndicator?
So the fees for a syndicator, if we buy into your deal, there is nothing. I told you. If Avestor invests in your deal, we are just investing as a passive investor. I told you we are not taking any money from the syndicators, and that's still true in the last 10 minutes. But if you want to create a mini fund on our platform, we charge 50 basis points of the assets under management. This is not the debt, of course. It's not your GP capital. It's whatever the LP capital is. We charge 50 basis points annually. But please remember, this is not just a software as a service platform. That is part of it. You get a fabulous platform. People love our user interface. There is a nice little map which shows you how your deals are distributed. You click on it, and you call it a vanity map. But we also handle all your operations for you. We generate your accounting. We take care of your accreditation, your transactions. And while ACH is not there right now, it will be ready within a month or two. And then you can use that for distributing your distributions to your investors. So we are trying to be a one-stop shop for all your operations. And it's not just a software as a service platform. Yeah. So to answer but the short answer to your question is 50 bits of the assets under management. 0.5%.
Tell our viewers and listeners how best to connect with you.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and throw my mobile number out there.
Okay.
And I'll give you my email address too. There is a lot of information on our website. And the website is avestorinc.com. AVESTORINC.com. And my mobile number is 503-860-8374. Again, it's 503-860-8374. Just talk to me. Even if you're not interested in Avestor, it's okay. I love talking to people. And maybe you want to talk about some investments. Maybe you're interested in the mini fund. And my email address, you already have the domain, avestorinc.com, is badri@avestorinc.com. BADRI at avestorinc.com.
Let's go into your personal story.
Sure.
And let's get to know the man behind the success. Share with us one of your most difficult setbacks in life, and how did you come through that time, and what did you learn from that experience?
There are different types of setbacks, the financial setbacks, there's personal setbacks, and losing both my parents has been a very challenging experience. You're anchored, and I lost both of them. My dad passed away more than 12 years back. My mom passed away about 3 years back. And so I find that I've become a lot more spiritually inclined. One of the things you'll read in these books is life is like a movie screen. There are two analogies which I see. Life is like a movie screen. Whoever you meet are just projections. What is underneath the screen is the reality. And everybody you meet are just moving projections, almost like a mirage. And another analogy I think of is a train where you get on, some people get off, some people get on. you go to the end, whatever your destination is, and you meet a bunch of people along the way, including your family, really, right? Nobody is permanent. And so that kind of grounding has helped me get past some of these setbacks.
What in your life do you feel most grateful for?
I'm really grateful for friends, family, and just health. Think about it. If you don't have health, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you're not going to enjoy it. I mean, the three most important things to me are health, family, and friends. And I do enjoy travel. A fun fact about myself, I've gone to over 50 countries, almost approaching 60. My goal is to visit every country in the world, which is safe to us. I don't want to go to a random country in Africa or I don't know. There's not much to see and it's not very safe. But before I take my last breath, I do hope to visit every single country. I love travel. So.
Thus far, what has been your favorite travel destination?
Alan, you're putting me on the spot. Too many choices. There were lots of things which are great. Croatia was very interesting. We did that last year. Yeah. And I personally liked Bali. We have gone to Hawaii many times. I like Bali because it's a cross between Indian culture and Hawaiian culture almost. And a beautiful island, beautiful people. We did a lot of rafting. So I'll pick two, but I have tons more.
What was so fascinating about Croatia?
People were very friendly, beautiful. I've been to almost most of the countries in Europe. Beautiful scenery. And we are a Game of Thrones fan. I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones, the HBO serial. And so we went to Dubrovnik, where you see the walled city. There is enough culture. The country is not too big. You literally can drive from north to south if you really want to in one day. You won't see much of it, but if you do that, but you can, it's not too big and not too broad. So you can literally go to another country driving 40 miles if you go west. So the combination of people, culture, food, natural scenery, and Game of Thrones trivia was interesting. And so just because I just saw it recently. But we also liked, we went to South America last year, and that was the Iguazu Falls was fantastic. And we went to Argentina, Peru, and Brazil. So that trip was very cool.
I'm probably one of the only people in the United States who has not watched Game of Thrones, but I've heard a lot about it, though. Share with us 3 good things that you've experienced in the last 24 hours.
We go for a walk. The sunset was beautiful in the morning. Little shades of green, or not green, orange, yellow. It was just gorgeous. And I'm grateful for sunrise, not sunset. Did I say sunset? I meant sunrise. And in Oregon, it rains a lot. And yesterday we had a great call with our children. Both are not living with us. And the third thing is we are making a lot of traction on the business. We got some great new leads yesterday. A lot of people want to create mini funds on our platform. So there you go. 3 things in the last 24 hours.
How are you putting your success as an investor and entrepreneur to work to create universal well-being and abundance for all beings?
That's so important. I think if you don't give back to society, you're not going to enjoy your wealth. You're not going to take it with you. So we have a small foundation in India, and we also have a donor-advised charitable trust. So every year we do pick selected charities where we donate our money. And we also donate my time. My wife, for example, is running a ESL class where you teach English as a spoken language for new immigrants. And we are always looking for opportunities to give back. I think that's so critical. So.
When you leave this world, what would you like your epitaph to be?
The well-traveled entrepreneur. How about that? I have to think about it. I really didn't think about it just off the top of my head.
Badri, it has been fascinating and enlightening. I appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you, Alan. It was great. Nice combination of life, investments, and just plain fun.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Estate Investing Abundance, brought to you by Steve Talker Capital, a company working for passionate professionals like you to develop financial independence built on solid, passive real estate investments. As part of our efforts to make the world a better place, Steve Talker Capital contributes to activities and organizations committed to better understand the equine. These endeavors attempt to enhance the human treatment of horses worldwide. Steve Talker Capital, working for a world where all creatures, great and small, flourish abundantly. For resources to develop your financial independence, connect with us at stevetalker.com.